Well, hello and welcome to Living Out Loud with Lady Laura. I am on tonight, unlike last week when we were waiting on Sydney to get all moved in. So we will um, move on, and keep on going without. I'm doing better. I'm doing better this week, unlike last weekend or last week, trying to get Sydney moved into Little Rock, Arkansas. Flying in, going about. But I think I'm gonna do a new format where we'll do like 15 minutes. I'm working on that. Got a lot of things that we're trying to see what we're gonna do. Get my hair done and all that. So anyway, I'm gonna go on. Hey Ingris. Me and Ingris are gonna go on because this right here, how are you guys? How are you with your faith, Ingris? How are you with your faith? We all love to say faith without works is dead. Let's see. Without faith, it's impossible to please God. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge Him and He will direct your path. The only thing is, we don't let Him direct our path. We don't. So let me get my glasses. Let me tell you something. I'm going to have Sydney on next week because tonight I don't think we're ready. I didn't get to her quick enough to let her know that I wanted her to come on. I wasn't completely sure. Hey, Evelyn. I wasn't completely sure if I was going to have her on or not because now that everything is well, she's doing well. So we're going to talk about, you guys were with me, the great college drop off, great college tour drop off. That's when we dropped off Sydney for her senior year. Oh. Sydney for her senior year, and then Sejal and Jonathan for their freshman reboot. All right. So before they go, which is next week, in 2 weeks, then we'll talk about it. And then I'll be in Kentucky next week. So we got things to do and things to say. So anyway, deep faith. So my devotion today was talking about faith. And it's been about faith all week, but this got me today. And see if this gets you. It's quick tonight. Matthew 7:26-27 says, everyone who hears these words of mine and does not put them into practice is like a foolish man who built his house on sand. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house, and it fell with a great crash. So we're going to talk about crashing tonight. Without faith, it's just a big fat crash. Okay? So how deep is your faith? Remember the Bee Gees song, How Deep Is Your Love? How deep is your faith? And I want you to think about it. I want you to put it in. How deep? So Ingrid says, hey, Charles Beavers. Hey, David Love. We're talking about faith. My faith has grown, but I need to work at it. Okay, that's me too. My faith, I look back and think back to when I was younger. And my faith was amazingly strong. And now I look at it, I've gotten older and God has done so many things. Hey, Connie Jones, it's crashing. Your faith just crashes. So we're going to do the Bee Gees. How deep is your love? How deep is your faith? Is it strong enough to trust Jesus through the really tough times in life? I want you to think about that. Don't answer me yet. Remember the 10-second delay. So in a few minutes, I want you to type that in. So, is your faith strong enough to trust Jesus through the really tough times in life? Okay. Then it says it's relatively easy to follow him, claim his teachings, and proclaim his love when your life is basically trouble-free. Sydney. You learn how to firm your foundation, and you learn how to firm your foundation. You learn how to firm your foundation when you're in trouble. You learn how to firm up your foundation when a job is lost, a relationship crumbles, your health falters, whatever problem you have. You name the problem. I'm going to say my leg. Okay? My leg, my back, my skin, my eyes, whatever. If you've built a foundation of trusting God, believing His word, regardless of what comes, then your faith will get you through and will grow deeper in the process. Okay, so I'm going to sit right here. Your faith will grow deeper in the process. So tonight's lesson, I'm going to bring her on next week, but I'm going to start talking about her tonight. The faith lesson is this: trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not to your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct your paths. Right? And then, of course, my favorite Message version says, Living Bible says, in everything you do, put God first. He will lead and guide you and crown your efforts with success. Efforts, operative word, efforts. How many of you are making an effort to do what God has told you to do? Let me just give you a little. Let me give you a little story, and then I want you to listen, and I want you to say how your life, how you're doing with your life, because my life and my faith is it's a little questionable. It's a little questionable. It's hanging on, it's crashing. Because here's the thing. So Sydney goes last week to Arkansas. The first thing is, and now as we go through what has happened or what has transpired, I want you to type in how you would feel, okay? Because I knew how I was feeling. I knew how she was feeling, but it wasn't me. So of course I felt like, this is the process. So I tell Sydney after one, the car. We got her a car. Her aunt and uncle, her cousin, aunt and uncle got her a car. And when they got her a car, all we need to do is put in an engine. Okay. Well, the engine was supposed to go in. We're supposed to get the engine 4 weeks ago. We didn't. So it says, it'll be ready between 4 and 6 weeks. And y'all, it came in at 4.5 weeks. And then it came in as a brand new engine. So it's brand new. So it didn't come in time for her last week. So she had to fly one way to Little Rock. Now, Lisa and I are supposed to drive the car to Little Rock with all her stuff in it. Now, what does she have here with us? Okay, it's called listening to your parents sometimes because they're old and they know what they're talking about. Anyway, I digress. So we're sitting up here in this room, there are paintings. Oh, 1, 2, 3. 3 paintings and 2 TVs, a 55-inch and a 40-inch. Yeah, TV. And there's suitcases and stuff that has to go with Sydney that didn't go with Sydney. And then there's boxes and boxes of things for her apartment. So my parents are sending boxes to her. Stay with me because I'm going somewhere when it comes to faith. The parents are sending the boxes. We have to wait till the car is ready. We're going to load the car and then we're going to drive it to Little Rock and then fly home. Only problem is the stuff not here. The car's not ready. So Sydney has a mini meltdown because A, the car isn't ready. Then 2, she gets a flight. She now changes and we get a flight. We get a flight from a friend of ours, bless his heart. It didn't, there were some other moving parts that just didn't go together. So the first flight was canceled. Okay. Then they said, we're moving you to tomorrow. So that was Wednesday. We're going to move you to Thursday. Then when they move you to Thursday, they say we need to move you to another flight because Thursday is full. You can't get on that. And then we start going with things are wrong with the credit card. Things are wrong with the cash, blah, 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 blah. So by now, she's going to miss the connection. So then she has to, the flight they put her on is going to miss the connection. So she has to be on this one in order to go and make it to Little Rock before midnight. Right? So there's a whole lot of stuff going on. Then while we're doing this, while we're unloading the stuff, let me back up to finish helping you. The enemy is going to do whatever he can to destroy you. And if he doesn't destroy you, he's going to distract you. Okay? Keep listening. So Tony drives us there. We get all our stuff out. So he takes her into the terminal. And I get in the car because the police and the sheriff is like, you can't be sitting here, right? Okay, so I get in the car and I sit there. And of course, I see him walking over to me, the sheriff, big floppy hat on because it's really, really hot outside. And the sheriff says to me, what are you doing? What are you doing? Can I help you? And so I say, oh, my daughter is trying to get to Little Rock. She's having a problem with the ticket. And he's, I'm telling him the whole story, y'all. I'm telling him the whole story. And the sheriff is going, yeah, really? And I go, yeah. And so my husband went in with her. I'm in the car, and we're going to find out the answer in just like a minute. So I'm wondering if you will please let me park my truck here just for like 2 minutes. Just 2. And he blinks his eyes at me like he understood, and he goes, no! Go around and try it again. And maybe they'll be out. Okay. And so I went on. So now I drive around, I come back, they're not out. And he's looking at me. So I just drive around again. But when I get to the end of the ramp, Tony says, girl, we'll be here for a second. We got to get another ticket. She's having a meltdown. Go to the cell parking lot. And that's what I do. So as you can see, things aren't going like we thought they were going to go or according to plan. Isn't that like God and us? If we're honest, put in there. Does it ever go like, think about your life. Just think. Has anything ever just gone smooth like you thought it would? Oh, wait. Answer me. Has anything been smooth? Has anything? Did it just go like you wanted it to? Did the loan come through? No. Did the schooling loan come through? No. Were all the people at church that you thought were going to be there at prayer meeting tonight? No. Let's see. Did all the kids they graduate with the wonderful grades? No. That's right, Miss Connie Jones. No. They don't ever go. They don't ever go as planned. Nothing ever goes as planned. And then when I'm sitting there talking to Sydney, then I'm like, okay, so her dad gives her money. She has money. God was good, graceful in that he says, look, you have the money with you. Just buy a ticket. Okay. So she buys a ticket. She gets on the plane. She makes all the connections and she gets to Little Rock. But then when she gets to Little Rock, the girl who was supposed to pick her up can't pick her up because she's giving the car to her man. Now I'm going to leave that alone right there. I'm going to leave that right there because they still friends. But if I'm just having you told me Monday you was going to get me. And now you can't. But in her defense, it went from Wednesday to Thursday. So I'm going to use that. It went from Wednesday to Thursday. Hey, Phoebe. So no, nothing goes as planned. Okay, so she gets there. She doesn't have a ride. Oh, and did I forget to say that she didn't do her Turo? Her Turo reservation was not done. So there's nobody at the airport. And so what you need to do is take a Lyft. That's what you do. No. Why? Why was I out of my mind last week? Well, this is why I was out of my mind. Because my daughter calls me and says to me, I am going to get a ride with Chai. He's 52 years old. And she's talking fast, y'all. 52 years old. He's this guy. And he said he don't want me because I'm 52 years old and he don't need me. Now, I heard that, but I didn't. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear what I said? That his name is Chai. He's 52 years old. And he's going to take her because he don't want her. He's 52 years old. He's too old for her. That's all I heard, y'all. And the Holy Spirit said, you need to ask her to say that to you one more time. Have her say it to you one more time. That's why I was looking crazy last week. Okay? So, and then she has the nerve to say to me, you have the people thinking I was sex trafficked. Well, let's see. Nothing is going according to plan. And then when I ask you, so that's what I do, y'all. I ask her. I say to her, let's try this again. Who is Shy? And why is he a 52-year-old student? Oh, no, Mom, he's not a student. Well, who is he? Oh, he's a 52-year-old worker at the airport. I'm going to stop right there. Okay. He worker at the airport who just got off and who just happened to be listening to the conversation that she don't have no ride. And he says, I'm going to take you because that's on my way. He's going her way. How he know what way he going? He going her way. So she's like, oh yeah, Mom, Shy's going to take me. Oh no, Shy's not going to take you. And then the tears start welling up in my eyes because this is not going anything like I planned. This is not going. I'm in California and the tears are welling up. They don't fall, but they're welling up in my eyes because I'm like, Shy, man, 52. I'm 57. He old. And how did he hear where you were going? Because he's listening. You know, the most unassuming people. Jeffrey Dahmer looked nice. The serial killer out here in California looked nice. I'm like, Sydney, if you don't call a Lyft or an Uber, but I digress. Anyway, I'm telling her she's upset. I don't have a car. I don't have a ride. I don't have all of my clothes. I don't have my suitcase. And now what am I going to do? Well, you know what? Here go the process. This is when you have to trust God. And this is where I am, y'all. This is where we have to trust God. This is where we have to put our big girl panties on, our big boy panties on. No, big girl panties on, big boy drawers on. This is when you got to put your stuff on and say, God, I trust you. God, I love you. And God, I trust you. Because he already told us, which I talked about weeks ago. He already said to Joshua, he already said to Moses. He didn't told Moses. He didn't told Joshua, look at here. I'm going to be with you. So Miss Connie, so Ingrid, Lakeisha, all of you, we've been here, Charles Beavers, before with your leg. God has been with you before. God has helped you before. God has delivered you before. God has said, I'm with you, David Love, before. He's done it before. So why won't he do it again? Laura, I'm talking to me. I'm not talking to y'all. I'm talking to myself. So I'm getting ready to go to Kentucky for this writers conference called ASA, Advanced Writers Speakers Association. And I'm nominated. I'm a finalist, y'all, for the Golden Scroll. And if I get the Golden Scroll, that would be phenomenal because then my book would be like, wowzers. But not me. I'm going afraid. And I talked to some of my girlfriends. I talked to Susan, Melissa, and Calvonia. And let me tell you, I feel about this big. Can I go like that? I feel about that big. Why do I feel that big? Because I just don't believe in myself, and I surely don't believe in God. Drop the mic. I said it out loud. There go the book. There go the book. She said that out loud. Let's talk about it. Do you have faith? Do you even have mustard seed faith? Ingrid said it's growing. Nancy, it's growing. Laura, it's growing. How's your faith? Answer. How's your faith? Do you believe God right off the bat? Do you believe God right off the bat? Do you believe, like, when he tells you something or you desire something? Because it says, delight yourself in the Lord. Psalms 37:4. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. So I've been writing this book. I've been delighting in God. And then it was just a remarkable thing. Like, oh wow, a Golden Scroll. I'm a finalist. Okay. But then I don't believe nothing else. How come I don't believe nothing else? I don't believe for my children. I don't believe for my husband. I don't believe for the church. I don't believe for myself. So I'm asking you, how y'all doing? How's your faith? Is your faith hanging on? Is your faith crashing? Is your faith blowing in the wind? Poof, be gone. How's your faith? I'll wait. I'm going to wait. How's your faith? I tell myself that often. He's the same God since my last drama. Exactly. Which is what I say to Sydney. I can't wait to get her on. So I'm like, Sydney, if he's done it before, and then after she has the meltdown, and after I have the meltdown, because we all have a meltdown. After we've all had the meltdown, then we have the nerve, the audacity to go, oh, and Jesus delivered me, or and Jesus worked it out. Jesus did it. I'm going to speak for myself, okay? I'm going to take a little bit of liberties because I know God is like, really, Laura? I know he is. I know he is. I know he is. I know he's like, are you for real? It took me delivering you one more again. Because that's what happens. Miss Connie was in the hospital. I'm going to say you, Miss Connie, because you put it in here. Miss Connie's in the hospital. And we're praying for her. We are calling heaven down. He did it again. She lands in Arkansas. Mom, I'm here. I'm so excited. He did it again. I'm trying to get to Kentucky. I've done it. Everything is all in place. He did it again. He did it again. That's what God has to do for us. Tony reminded me, and I'm telling y'all, because he preached on it 2-3 weeks ago. Gideon needed a sign, bless his heart. Gideon was like, look, make the fleece dry. Look, make everything around the fleece wet and make the fleece dry. And then I'll do it. Okay. So God does that, right? God does it. And then that's not enough. That's us. And then Gideon goes, it's a trick. I need you to make the fleece wet and everything else around it dry. And so God does that too. He's wringing it out, y'all. And so if we say God is enough, if we say we have faith the size of a mustard seed, if we say God did it, he gonna do it again, how come we don't believe that then? I'm talking to me. Okay, y'all just be in it. It says, I have doubts about that at first because thing looks bad, but somehow it works out. That's, you know what? Let me give you a secret. Here's the secret for all of this. And this is what I say to myself now. It's taken me 57 years, but this is what I say now. Well, no, that's not a lie. I'm not going to put that on God. Because as a child, I believed. I just believed. I believed he was going to do it. I believed he was going to do it. So when he says, when it looks the worst, that's when you know God's going to show out. That's for free. Whenever it looks the worst, that's when you know God's going to show out. Every time. So now my new prayer is this. Okay, God, show me what you're going to do. I'm going to wait and see how you're going to blow it up. I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait and see what you're going to do. Because when I do it, I make a total mess of it. But when you do it, it comes out way better than I ever imagined. Think about it. I just want you to go back in your mind. Just go back in your mind. It can be just last week. Because, I told the prayer group tonight, I have to repent because I be thinking God's a genie. Poof, here it go, Laura. No, and no. That's not how it works. But anyway, I sat there and it came to the book because I was like, I hate how the book look. I can't believe it came out early. All these gaps and everybody telling me about the gaps and the page on the wrong side and the acknowledgments are off and the no. And then when I see on the ASA page that I'm a finalist, look, even if I don't win, I'm a finalist. God is like, your toe-up book is a finalist. But even better than that, and then I'm going to go, even better than that, it's the mindset. Yes, Phoebe, it's the mindset. Your mindset has to change. Either we believe God, we trust God, or we don't. And that's where I am. He's gonna do it. Them kids. I've given my kids over to God, and I've quit picking them up. You fix it. You got them, cause I can't. I done put everything I done poured into them. You handle it. And God's like, I got it, and I'm gonna let God got it. I'm gonna let Him get it. I'm gonna let Him have it. But what do? Mindset. We have our doubts. We just need to say, God, you do it. From now on, that's what I put in there. I promise. This is what you need to do from now on. You just say, God, I'm waiting on you. I'ma see what you're gonna do. I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm gonna watch what you're gonna do. And every time, because this is what happens out of nowhere. I hadn't even seen it. I'm just scrolling on Facebook and I see this. You know how you get a ding and it says, oh, Miss Maxie said something. So I read it and I go, oh, thank you. Thank you. And then she continues to write, no, girl, you can write. You just need some exposure. So I go to Amazon and lo and behold, there's a review. Listen, hey, Siri, be quiet. Lo and behold, there's a review, a good review on the Amazon from Miss Maxie. God said, didn't I tell you I got you? But I promise, Lord, I promise. Y'all, we got to do better. David, if you still online, Charles Beavers, trust God and just say, Lord, I'm going to wait for you. And let me see what you're going to do. I'm going to see what you're going to do. Let me see what you're going to do. That's what I do now. And you know what? If I'm honest, y'all, I'm kind of excited. And every time I get to the end of lattes, I'll be on 8:28, Romans 8:28, because he is going to work out for good. It may not feel good. It may not look good, but it's going to work out for good. It's going to work out. It's going to work out. I don't know who that's for. I'm talking to me. I'm talking to y'all. Get that faith. Get that faith, Connie. Get that faith, Charles. Get that faith, David Love. We are going to march forward like Joshua. We are going over to the promised land. I'm going over to the promised land. And I'm just believing. And I'm believing I'm going to win. And even if I don't, I'm like the Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And even if I don't win, I know that I can. I know that he could have made it that way. Boom, drop the mic. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him and he shall direct your path. Without faith, it's impossible to please God. Y'all, you want to please God. You want to say, God, are you happy with me? Are you pleased with me? And you want him to say, yes, ma'am, or yes, sir. Believe in him. Believe in God. He's going to do it for you. Just like he did it in the past. Just like he did it for Moses. Just like he did it for Joshua. Just like he did it for me. And Charles and Ingris and Gwen and David Love and Felicia and Phoebe and Qui. Just like that. If he can do it for them and Tony Simon, if he can do it for them, Dolores Fluellen, he can do it for you. Have a good night, Faith. Don't let it be hanging by a thread. Reel that thing back on in and give it to God. And watch him work it out for you. All right. I promise. Say it. I promise. I promise I'm going to believe. I promise I'm going to have faith and God is going to do it. I promise. I'm going to sit back, take a sip, and watch him work it out. See y'all in Kentucky, Lord willing, next week. And be glad and watch him do it for you all week. Because I'm going to ask you Thursday night how your week went.